Hi, beautiful people. Well, today I thought I wouldn't um, uh, talk about a certain project because I am a bit anxious, also a bit disappointed with people around, and anxious about life and what is going to happen next, of course. And I thought today I would invite you to come and talk about the happenings around us. But nobody turned up, of course. I mean, it happens that nobody turns up in my Zoom room. So I am going to give you my own ideas about it, obviously, because there is nobody to discuss the situation with. However, I am very happy if you send me any kind of message or ask me questions or want to come and discuss certain things with me. I am open to everything, whatever you wish, really. So let us see what is happening. My greatest disappointment is that most people think that life goes on as it has been and business as usual. I really am sad about that because it is a turning point in our lives, and if you cannot see it and you cannot understand it and you cannot act accordingly, then you might miss out on this turning point, because at the moment it is sort of bendable as such. The outcome is not certain, even though obviously powerful bodies, they think they have the solution or they know what they want. Well, actually, in one way or another, they are right, because at least they know what they want. It is a big advantage, knowing what you want, even though it is not very good for humanity and for Earth and for you or for me and for your children. However, at least they have this advantage to know what it is they want to achieve. And the unfortunate situation is that the vast majority of humanity has no idea. It's not because they just don't know what they want. They don't see, or they cannot see, that it is time to want something. And that is very important. Because if you don't know that it is time to want something, you don't want anything. I mean, mind you, it's not really true. I mean, I always want something. And obviously, wanting something or having aims in your life, it really is a very important part of living. And if you don't have it, I would call you a floater. Definitely, without a doubt. And I decided not to be very sort of mellow any longer, because it doesn't take me anywhere and it doesn't take you anywhere. So I am going to tell you what I think. And I am sure many of you wouldn't like it, but hard cheese. That's what we are doing at the moment, and that's what I am doing at the moment. You don't have to like it, but I would really like you to think about it at least, because that is a problem. Everything goes on as yesterday, although on social media They don't show us anything about the world, anything about the negotiations behind the curtain, anything about the Palestine situation and the UN and the WHO and whatever. We would be really happy to know something about it, because they just stopped um, uh, the broadcast of everything that is actually some kind of news or broadcasting events what are happening behind the curtains. It is very, very frightening. I don't know what you think about it. Most people would think that, yeah, now so I can get on with my life. You can never go on with your life any longer, because it is here and it is in your life, and people behind the curtain or behind closed doors, they are just voting on your future without consulting you. And you need to understand that. You don't have a privilege. Nobody has a privilege. You can come from any country whatsoever, even if you think you are from the very best country on earth. I mean, come on, that is really a big shit. Because only according to your opinion, because you have never lived anywhere else, or you don't really know what your country is all about. I mean, the whole situation on earth at the moment is really, really difficult. And I am so upset to see that, especially so-called business people, the promotion and all those technologies and everything, they just do whatever they want. They've done yesterday and before yesterday and last year, and no change whatsoever, nothing. The money is still in the focus of their life. They still consider having business life, family life, and pleasurely life or romantic life or whatever separately. And they cannot see that there is only one life. We have only one life, not many compartments. That doesn't happen, and it is not happening. And as long as you are looking at money as the new God, you are not going to get anywhere. Yeah, you will have money, but believe me, that is the least in your life. And that is a problem, because people still cannot see that it is not as valuable as they think it is. You see, we say that we have to have money because everything costs something, but we allowed it to arrive to that situation. Because when they introduce the money to us, you know, those big companies, so good, and of course the banks, oh, we were so happy. And we said, oh yes, please give me more money, and I will do this and that and that and this. And we never ever thought about the outcome, the future of it, our future, and how humanity is going to suffer from all that. I mean, it is just unbelievable what we suffer from. All the big loans came out in the 70s, 80s, and then, of course, after they put the interest up, and then, of course, they let it go again and up again, and they just want you to give them every penny possible, and for your children and your whole family and everything, and you are tied to that stuff. And you see, you need to understand that making money cannot give you pleasure. It can only give you pleasure if you are really somebody who doesn't care at all about humanity and earth and anything else. And yes, there are many people like this, yes. And yes, the apps are mushrooming out. Everybody has an app now. And of course, it costs a lot of money. And now everybody has a podcast and everybody has this and that. But tell me honestly, where does it take you? And people are selling the same thing they used to sell last year, even the last before, or the before last, because they don't think about the changes, what is happening here, and they don't think about actually how to help or to help others or to help people to excuse me. Yeah, they come. They don't like what I'm saying. Anyhow, they don't. Um, you have to sort of look into it and to make yourself useful, uh, and to see how to help others, and not by selling all kinds of gadgets. I mean, everybody is selling now something, a funnel, an app, this and that, to make $1 million. You see, if these apps were actually working, then no people would be on Facebook any longer, because they would be busy making so much money on their apps, and of course spending this so much money and everything. But I know for sure, because I paid, not because it makes me 500 or $1,000 or whatever, or it was promised to make me 1 million, but because I don't have the capabilities of doing certain things. I am not technical. So because of that, obviously, I had to buy some apps. I had to buy certain courses, technical courses. I went everywhere and I spent so much money. And believe me, I couldn't get anywhere I wanted, because no course, no application is going to give you the real stuff, because otherwise you would be rich and you won't need them any longer. It is just like those companies in power. They want you to be ill, because if you are healthy, you are not an asset to them any longer, of course. So they give you something to get ill and keep you in this position until you, I don't know, as long as possible. So you pay for your medication, you pay for your doctor, and you get more problems. And that's the same in everything, you know? That's the same in everything. I mean, you have to raise above this situation, because you have to be better than all those people. Otherwise, our life is not going to get better ever. And you know very much that we are responsible for what is going on here. Even though now we cannot speak about it any longer. But you had the opportunity to see and read and listen to many, many, many things during the last 4 months, what you should really know. And also about the idea that you are responsible for your life. And not just for your life, but for everybody else's life. So that is something you really need to do. You need to rise above. You need to be awakened, because floating is not taking you anywhere. I am so unhappy to look at that every day. Well, of course, it's up to me, because why do I look at them? I know. But, you know, it really means that the whole world can turn upside down. You would never leave your little comfort zone, because that's what it means, that you don't want to get out of anything what you've been doing. You are afraid to see. You are afraid to look. Not to mention, if you catch one thing, it will bring you another one you have to look up or you have to figure out. Because if you don't, you only have the half truth. And that is very dangerous. Really, 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 truly dangerous. So you have to put out some time and devote some time for the interrelations of energies. Devote some time to understand life and understand what is going on. And please go to places where you can learn something also about yourself and your personal existence, not only about how to make $1 million. You are not going to do that anyhow. I mean, it is hard work. There are few people who can do that because they work really hard. But then again, you know, they sell apps like that, and they sell certain things when they actually take quite a lot of money and they don't give you anything for it at the end of the road. I know, because I went through many things. Now I am just fighting for my $2,000 I gave to somebody or paid for a company to do some stuff for me. And they disappeared almost. And they don't reply my letters and whatever. I mean, come on, people. How can you get there? How can you sleep at night? How can you look into the mirror? So you really need to understand that life is valuable, very valuable, and you have to put value into your life. Otherwise, it's going to be nothing whatsoever. I mean, I am looking at all the children here in Europe, of course, the Northern Hemisphere as such. Children are crying, shouting. They are so bored. 1 year old and they are already on the telephone and watching the TV and the whatever. And I look at all the people, the youngsters, let's say in China or Malaysia or anywhere really in Asia, they can cook and they enjoy, they work. I am not saying for money, but obviously the father and the mother is teaching them, doing this and that and that and this, you know. None of them has a telephone. None of them cries. They enjoy what they do. But these people, these children here, they really, really are very bored because nothing challenges their mind. Nothing whatsoever. Nobody gives them values. Nobody teaches them anything. They just shout, cry, and that's it. And demand, because that's what they've been trained to do. You know, in this way, children stay on the level of an animal. So they do what they are tamed to do. That's it. Because the plus what we have as human beings is the mind, that we can think, we can compare, we can discuss, we have opinion, we form opinions. And that's the actual plus of a human being. But that is something they don't teach people anymore, because if they do that, they can be dangerous. So they want laid back people, you know, floating around and be happy with the latest telephone, and then just sort of, yeah, we are having an app, I have a broadcast, I have a podcast, I have a whatever. Nobody is watching it any longer because there are so many. And most of them are really, really boring. I mean, people talking about that story. Oh, I had a very bad childhood. It's really fashionable. Not as much as it used to be, let's say, 5 years back, but it is still very fashionable to talk about that. I have news for you. Everybody had a demanding childhood. Depending on you, you could take it or not. That's it. I mean, parents are human beings, and they do their utmost, actually. That's what they are capable of doing. But you don't need to sort of whine to everybody that, oh, yes, oh, I was abandoned and I was here and there. I mean, look at the Palestinians. They are smiling, and their mother and children are dying around them. What are we doing? Why don't we just rise above it? Why don't we just embrace everything as a lesson? Why don't we just learn from it? You learned from it because obviously the childhood made you the person what you are and who you are at the moment. I would say, yeah, I mean, it is not really politically correct, but I would really say that white people are the whiners. They just, that's it really, in one way or another, because they think they are developed. And they don't think about it, that actually they are not developed, because they've been sort of pushed back and they are laid back, and they don't really understand what is going on any longer. So what is it? Doesn't it bother you? Well, if it doesn't bother you, then obviously I can just talk about it, nothing will happen. But I really, truly, truly hope that at least one person would start thinking. I don't mind. I don't mind working. I don't mind giving. I don't mind teaching free of charge. I don't mind a lot of things. I just want at least one person always to sort of stand up and say, yes, I should really think about it. Sure, it is your life. And if you are moaning and whining all the time, then you are not going to get anywhere. And it means that you are not enjoying your life. You are still in the past. Don't let me start up with my own story about my childhood. It would shock you. But still, who cares? It is just because it doesn't shock me, you know? Yeah, families are put together for a reason of financial reason, actually. Most families are really, really unhealthy. They are hanging on to their children. They don't let them go. They don't let them do. They don't know if they are coming or they are going. I never understand. There is no purpose in anything whatsoever. But when I look at the Africans, most of Africans and the Asians, yeah, they know what it is all about. They understand that, okay, I am a mother and a father. I let my children go. I teach them for life. And if when they fall, I will help to pick them up. But I am not going to keep them around me because I love you. I mean, that is just really crazy. It is crazy, crazy. So I think that would be a good idea if you thought about that a bit at least. And I don't mind if you are angry with me, and I don't mind if you have an opinion of me. I don't bother. At least you start thinking, oh, I am so happy then. So who cares? You can tell me anything you want. I am not shocked and I will not get shocked. Believe me, just get on with it. And if you want, I am always here to discuss. And I always invite all of you people to discuss because every Tuesday I am doing some uh, talk or lecture or something, and I've been doing it for very long time now. And this sort of chat or lecture I call As Above, So Below. It happens every Tuesday. Members of my Sparkle Ignite Luminate Facebook group would have the video free of charge, of course, next day. So if they cannot come, they can watch the video. And of course, the members of my extraordinary WanderWisdom Club. Oh, it is amazing. So check it out at least because that would be very good for you to join. Anyhow, I hope you learned something or I triggered your mind somehow. And hopefully I will see you somewhere. Take good care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. All the wonders.